I came out to two older boys during a church trip, and the response I got from that stuck with me for my whole life. I went to a Seventh-day Adventist church with my mom growing up, and this church was mostly white and a little bit crazy. I really felt like a black sheep there, quite literally. But every Old Testament feast or celebration was a religious holiday, and I got to be out of school. And that was the best part, because I came out at school when I was around 12, and the majority of guys I'd been friends with growing up stopped talking to me. I even got my homework flushed down the toilet and all of that. Going to school every day was actually terrifying. And not only that, but my English teacher told my mom I was gay during open house. My mom didn't tell my dad, but she told church leadership. From that day on, I was the gay kid. Everybody at my church was telling me that I'm going straight to hell. I got used to seeing the angry stares, hearing gossip behind my back and being laughed at, and spending time alone. But the feast that year stuck with me for life. It was the first trip with my church since I came out. One of the activities for the kids was canoeing, and I couldn't swim and I didn't want to do it, but they put me in a life jacket and paired me with an 18-year-old lifeguard and his 14-year-old brother. I looked at them for the first time and I was immediately terrified. At the time, I was very much Carlton Banks wearing bow ties and listening to Barry Manilow, definitely on the feminine side of the spectrum. And these were 106 & Park guys with cornrows and baggy everything. Both of the boys played football, and the 18-year-old was over 6 feet tall. And I had been bullied mercilessly since coming out, so I was basically ready to die that day. I took a breath, and I stepped into the boat. I thought, I can't swim. I'm in a boat. These boys are big. They started rowing, and they started talking about different stuff, family, school, girls. But I was mute. I tried not to draw any attention to myself, and I even looked away so we wouldn't make eye contact. We ended up far, far away from any other boats, and the older guy, whose name was Andre, said we should eat some snacks. And I thought, wait, this is it. The conversation turned to me, and he started asking questions about how old I am and if I ever had a girlfriend. Then he asked, do you like girls? I looked away, and after a moment of silence, he asked, do you like guys? I was obviously terrified, so I just sat there and said nothing. You're gay, aren't you? And at this point, I was getting ready for the worst possible outcome until I heard, anybody mess with you? You know, anybody on your case giving you problems? And we made eye contact for the first time. I felt fear coming over me. I even grabbed the edge of the boat. Look, man, I see you by yourself. None of the boys at church will sit with you, and that ain't right, man. It's not right. Listen, if anybody messes with you, come to me, because we got you. I didn't have a frame of reference for being gay and having boys be nice to me. And I just started crying in the canoe, sobbing. He put his hand on my back saying, I don't think Jesus would want you to feel like that. You love your parents? You love God? Are you nice to people? Then you're good. Jesus worries about other stuff, man. It meant the world to me to hear these words. I felt so much love from them that I hadn't seen anywhere else for a long time, and it helped me get through a lot of tough times down the road. Anyways, you see, I spent the rest of the trip with them. We exchanged emails so we could keep in touch. Even though it was only a couple of weeks, they became like brothers to me. I'm sorry to say we lost touch after a while, especially with Andre. And by the time I was in college, I just might randomly get an email from Terrence once in a blue moon. And one of the emails, he came out to me. He told me he almost came out on the boat that day, but couldn't work up the nerve. He felt like Andre already knew and was telling Terrence it was also okay. Like, look at this gay kid. I'm in his corner and I'll be in yours too. And when he did come out, he came out to Andre first. And Andre was there in the room behind him when he told his parents. So shout out to Andre, the first male ally I ever met. I only knew him for a short time, but it was the right time to give me a boost and help me through one of the worst periods of my life. And Terrence was really blessed to have such a brother. You know, it just takes one person to save your life.